everybody? It's your pal Spaz, the YWC Reality Check here with a little bit of a random news roundup because we did have several things go on this weekend in the world of wrestling. Now, when I say that there was a lot of stuff going on this weekend, I do have to tilt my hat to what I'm not going to talk about from this past weekend. I'm just going to say for all my American viewers, for all my American friends, no matter what side of the line you're on, I hope everybody's doing okay. Not so great shit happening in the States this weekend. Hope everybody's good. Turning swiftly back to the wrestling world, however, there was a lot of little things going on in wrestling that not everything is huge and wonderful and groundbreaking, but a lot of cool things going on. Now, what I read just today is apparently a big earth-shattering thing in WWE as far as copyright goes. Apparently, wrestlers can come in with their real names and WWE will trademark their names for the amount of time that they're in WWE, and then when they leave WWE, whether they're released, etc., they'll be able to take their names with them when they go, which sounds like it should have been a thing happening all along, but apparently it wasn't. We all know about people coming in to WWE and getting weird names, or people having to come up with other weird names after they left WWE because of copyright and all that sort of thing. Would Edge be Edge in AEW right now? If that was the case, would Cody Rhodes be Dusty Star Rhodes, whatever the case may be, if that was the case? I don't know. That's just a little thing that I read right before I actually came up here and talked to you guys. So that's that. I'm going to get into my notes. My notes are scratchy and useless as usual. Yes, Doomy Clipboard of Doom is still a thing. So let's go swiftly on. In the realm of re-signings, we've had a couple of big ones in the past little while. Rollins is staying, Balor is staying, McIntyre is staying. Chad Gable was one that was presumed to be leaving the company for a while. Becky Lynch is still very much in the conversation. I'm kind of hoping Becky Lynch shows up in TNA to do some stuff there, but we'll see where that goes. But one of the ones that cropped up over the past little while was somebody that chronically and constantly gets left in the background of the conversation, unfairly in my opinion, and that's Natalya. Now, Natalya has re-signed. I got this from No DQ a couple of days ago. The terms are not listed, the terms are not public knowledge just yet, which is absolutely fine. I mean, the fact that we get to know what these people's business dealings is at all as fans is kind of weird, but Natty's re-signing, and it is kind of a big thing because Natty's never a proper person in a proper feud or anything monstrous. She's gone and done a lot of stuff in NXT recently. Look what she was doing with Carmen Petrovic and Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler, and how that all came about. But it is kind of reflective of what most people say about Natalya. Although she's not a main eventer, she's not winning tons and tons and tons of titles, she is somebody that everybody kind of looks towards. She is sort of like the mama bear, locker room leader type person. And losing somebody like that, in a lot of ways, could hurt your locker room more than losing somebody that's perceived to be a top star. So it's really cool to see. TJ Wilson, formerly known as Tyson Kidd, is her partner, obviously, who's still a booker, agent, whatever the title is, in the back as well, and is, from whatever I've heard ever, is a really well received guy. When they've done cameos in the Royal Rumble, for example, especially in the Women's Royal Rumble, there's been multiple people that have said, yeah, I came to do that cameo because I knew TJ was going to be involved in the booking of it. So he seems like he's in a good spot, which means she seems like she's in a good spot. Nothing more to say, really. As I say, her contributions are more behind the scenes than in front. I'm sure she's been some kind of mentor to a lot of the ladies there. And if she does get put in a proper title picture at some point, it won't exactly hurt my feelings either. Now, going to talk about crossovers. Once again, crossovers are my new favorite thing to talk about with WWE because we are obliterating the stereotype that never should have existed in the first place, that WWE never works with anybody. Well, it's just not true. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's just not true. Way back in the day, you had the Christian Cage for Ric Flair thing, so they could go into the respective Halls of Fame etc. And there's been other stuff here and there as well. But I'm not going to talk about TNA too much because I've been talking about that quite a bit. I've done 2 pieces, go back to the pod before this one and the pod before that. One is just a clip from State of Wrestling with myself and Jake, and one is the entire episode of State of Wrestling. I would really love it if you would check out the whole episode, but I did clip out the portion where I talked about last week's NXT, and we talked about the reunion of MSK / The Rascals, with Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel showing up on NXT to stop Wesley from quitting. Now, that's kind of been foreshadowed because over on the other side of the coin, the Rascals have been attacked by the various members of the No Quarter Catch crew over on Impact, and this week on NXT, all 3 of them together as the Rascals are going to take on Gallus. That's a pretty cool thing. We've had Joe Hendry, we've had Frankie Kazarian, we've obviously had Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez that sort of speared this whole thing, but also Jasmine Nix and Tatum Paxley have both answered open challenges to Jordan Grace in TNA as well. But I've been over a lot of those things. They're very cool, but I've also talked about them already. But let's talk about the stuff that I'm not quite as familiar with. Over the course of the weekend, there was the Marigold Super WrestleMania, something, I don't know the name of their show, but I know it was Marigold, and in one match, Io Sky defeated Utami Hayashishita. I've tried a bunch of times to try and pronounce that correctly, which is awesome. And already signed to WWE, Julia, who was rumored at various points to be showing up at either Battleground or Heatwave. Kind of bummed she didn't show up at Heatwave because I was there. Did I mention I was there? But her debut got pushed back and back and back because of injuries. She was cleared to take part in the Marigold show for a match with Sarai, with 3 E's. I'm pretty sure it's Sarai that was in NXT for a brief time, but it's Sarai. Anyways, there was a title match. Julia lost. I think she's doing her honors on the way out. Is that how it's working, or is she still going to do some stuff for Marigold down the line? I'm kind of murky on those details, but bottom line is she was back in the ring, which means she's cleared, which means they can start the wheels in motion towards her coming to NXT properly and me getting a better idea of what she is as a new person in the WWE. Gonna say, once again, the whole idea that, people all of a sudden think somebody's so great when they come to WWE. I say, no, it's a new person that other people are telling me great things about. I can't wait for her arrival so that I can see her in the context in which I watch wrestling, so that I can form my opinion along with what I've been told already. I always tell the story of our good buddy Guapo, who hasn't been on the channel in a while, but used to be my reference for a lot of things. And when Ember Moon first joined WWE, I said, well, I'm hearing about this Athena chick, tell me what's up. She's really cool. She's kind of like female Demon Balor, and she does a stunner from the top rope. That's all I need to know. After that, let me see what she can do in the ring. It's very much the same thing with Julia, although the other people in the other places are obviously upset because she decided to go with NXT / WWE, but that's okay. Io Sky with, as I say, Utami Hayashishita. Apparently Kairi Sane was there as well. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she didn't have a match, but there's rumblings that she may have a match for Marigold in the future. That's pretty cool. She's been doing mostly tag and trio stuff with Damage Control in the WWE main roster, so if she wants to branch out and have some solo matches somewhere else, as is becoming more and more common, absolutely cool. But Io going in there, grabbing a win. Julia, as I say, having the match with Sarai, losing, I guess, on the way out, more confirming her coming over to WWE. Absolutely fine. Also in the same weekend over at Pro Wrestling Noah, it was AJ Styles taking on, I'm going to butcher this, Naomichi Marufuji, and getting the win. I saw the entrance. I saw a little bit of a highlight package of the match as well. Him coming out with the dark AJ Styles branded lucha style masks is always cool. Like, he did it like once or twice in WWE when there was like the OC mask that he had on. It's always a cool look, and he was in a press conference after the fact, and he kind of took a dig at Dirt Sheets, and I'm pretty sure it was a shot at Meltzer directly, but he was talking about what it was like to perform in Japan for the first time. I believe, somebody can correct me down in the box below if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first time AJ Styles has performed in Japan in a non-WWE capacity in 8.5 years or so. But when he was in the press conference, he mentioned the fact that, hey, you know, it's not hard to figure out why people who write star ratings, who don't really matter, always give 5-star ratings in Japan. The fans make the matches, the wrestlers are just here having the matches, and if you want to know what it's like to be respected as a professional wrestler, you have to come on over here and perform in Japan. So he's just given a lot of love to the Japanese fans, the Noah fans, etc. A little bit of a dig at the dirt sheets is fine, because a 5-star rating is what one guy thought of a match. I know it's a thing. I know it's something we all use. I know it's shorthand that we all use, but it is what it is. So AJ Styles breaking out of WWE to do some stuff in Japan. Io Sky doing some stuff in Japan. Kairi Sane maybe doing some stuff in Marigold. Julia, as I say, I haven't watched the full match yet, but I should, because I'm very, very anticipatory of her arrival for somebody that I am not personally that familiar with. The other one, the one that's driving everybody nuts, the one that has everybody all ramped up and amped up, and she didn't do things the right way. Stephanie Vacour, who had the match with Mercedes Moné in AEW, in the match where she lost, even though she was the better looking wrestler in the match by miles, signed with WWE, and it wound everybody up. And oh my god, how dare Shawn Michaels announce that on a Wednesday? That's our day. Fuck off. There's all kinds of weirdness surrounding this. Basically, they were doing some house shows in Mexico, and Stephanie Vacour on 2 different shows had her 2 debut matches at those house shows, both against Isla Dawn. They looked really good. I've only seen highlights. I haven't seen the whole thing. It's a house show, so it's a little bit different. Apparently she's going to NXT, not the main roster, so that's fine as well. So a house show is just a house show, to be fair. But yeah, surrounding all this, like, the announcement was made on Wednesday, and she was dropped into these house shows on the weekend, so WWE's not wasting any time with her. Never having seen her before, I saw the match that she had with Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was enough for me to say, I want to see more of her. And this is what I'm hoping to see with Julia. I hope Julia shows up on my screen, and I see one match with her, pair her up with, I don't even know who, have her come out there and maybe even squash a jobber, as much as I hate to say that for NXT. But I want her to give me that one match that says, cool, that's what Julia is. I want to see more of that, because Stephanie Vacour gave me that over in the other company that doesn't even really know how to treat women's wrestlers that well. Let's be real for a second. But all the weirdness about, oh, she had to drop her titles because she was leaving the companies, well, did you want her to show up on NXT and do a Medusa in the bucket with the belts? No, she vacated the titles, and you're all mad that she went for a bigger paycheck, which is always a little bit strange. The whole conversation, and I'm not going to turn this into an AEW thing, but the whole conversation when AEW first started, and there was a swath of people that either were released from WWE and went to AEW, or wanted out of their contracts because they wanted to go. The whole response around that was like, how can you possibly judge somebody for wanting to take their career in a different direction? Well, I'm sorry, WWE is still the biggest game in town. I don't care who you like. There's other people in other places that I like, but WWE is the biggest game in town. If you are another company that she's worked for, and you know that she's been saying that she's, doing the whole dream of working in WWE since she was a kid, and she's got that opportunity now, and you try to say that that's a bad thing, you're kind of an asshole. In 10 years, if somebody grows up and says, it's my dream to perform in AEW, I'll have questions, but go grab your bag in AEW. Like, if somebody goes through the NXT system and doesn't want to get called up to the main roster, dips out of their contract and goes to AEW, it won't be received that great. But like, go do your thing. Now, what I didn't know, and this is highly speculative because I only have bits of the story here. Apparently, Stephanie Vacour has an ex-partner who was abusive, neglectful, verbally not great, whatever the case may be. Whatever he did, whatever they did, got them put in jail because they were that much of an issue, that much of a threat, whatever. I don't have the details. I don't want to speculate because speculating on shit like this is gross. But equally as gross is people from AEW and people from CMLL hearing that she signed with WWE and saying, I hope he gets out soon. You're terrible people. That's all I have to say about that, realistically speaking. Anyways, super happy for her. Lots of pictures with her and Damian Priest. So, you know, they are apparently, I don't know. Those were the pictures that were put around. The two pictures that I've seen all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over socials in general from that show are either pictures of the match that she had with Isla Dawn or pictures of a conversation that she had with Damian Priest. So maybe she joins the Judgment Day. Maybe she's not going to NXT. I don't know. But wound up all of Twitter when she said, lots and lots of love, finally happy to join the WWE family. Because so many people, and I'm thinking about one specific person on one specific podcast that doesn't like anything WWE realistically, they get so mad about the WWE family thing when AEW has slid under the radar of family when really Tony Khan likes to benefit from dead people. Just saying. Yeah. Lots of moving pieces around the chalkboard. Natty just re-signed. Io was at Marigold. Kairi Sane might wrestle for Marigold. Julia had her match at Marigold. AJ Styles performing at Noah. Stephanie Vacour making her debut at a Mexico City house show for WWE. And in the background, you also got a lot of this is revolving around the women's division other than AJ Styles. But you got to remember as well that ever present in the back of a lot of our heads is Jordynne Grace is a free agent as of January 2025. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Jordynne Grace crossed over from TNA to NXT. So there's my transition. Let's talk about NXT for a second. The next NXT PLE is going to be No Mercy next month. But I've got a little bit more exciting news. If you're somebody like me that likes the creepy stuff, that likes the weird stuff, that likes the stuff that can get a little bit silly sometimes, October, once again they're doing Halloween Havoc. They're making it a proper PLE, finally. Sunday, October 27th in Hershey, Pennsylvania at the Giant Center. The Hershey Sports Authority put this out on Twitter either yesterday or early today, that they will be doing a proper NXT Halloween Havoc pay-per-view in the Giant Center that apparently has a capacity of like 11,000 people for hockey. So I'm imagining it's a lot larger for a wrestling show, considering that they're bundling it with a Monday night ticket to Monday Night Raw as well. So much like when I went to SmackDown Money in the Bank and Heatwave, they're bundling together at the Giant Center the NXT PLE on the Sunday and Monday Night Raw, obviously, on the Monday. But yes, Halloween Havoc is a proper pay-per-view again. That's fucking awesome. It was fine as a fun little toss-off 1 week or 2 week special episode, elevated episode as I've taken to calling them, of the weekly NXT show. That's fine, but make it a pay-per-view. We've already got Great American Bash coming up. We've got No Mercy coming up, and we've got Halloween Havoc. I got the graphic up there. It's probably going to be different than that one because that graphic there was from the 2.0 era of NXT. But it's the only PNG I could find in short order to make this thing. I'm starting to do the visual things. I know nothing about the video stuff that I'm trying to do right now, so excuse the very, very rudimentary stylings of these videos when you actually see me in video form. NXT, proper PLE, Halloween Havoc, Sunday, October 27th, as close to Halloween as you could want to be, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, at the Giant Center, and most of those fans are coming back for Monday Night Raw the next night, because the tickets are being sold as a bundle, which is brilliant. Lastly, but not leastly, that's a word, I think, NXT working a lot with TNA. Could it tie into Slammiversary? There we go. Slammiversary? Possibly. But whether or not we have a whole bunch of crossover from NXT, Slammiversary has sold out. This was announced probably last week now. This is getting into some older news. They have sold out whatever the name of the venue is that they're going to in Montreal. They're coming up to Canada. They're coming up to Montreal for the 20th Slammiversary. It's sold out. It is the largest, I believe, gate that they've sold in 10 years? Maybe a decade, I'm not sure. But it's a sellout. 4,000 people estimated right now, with an additional block of tickets that might go on sale once they've established how they're setting up their staging and their production stuff, because they can always open up a couple extra tickets at the last minute. That's absolutely fine. For TNA, for where they are, 4,000 tickets in Montreal for Slammiversary, the 20th anniversary of Slammiversary, on a card that already looks pretty fucking sick. Just happy for TNA. I never watch as much of it as I plan to sit down and watch, but TNA is doing awesome. The crossover with NXT is a lot of fun, and nobody really seems like they're patting themselves on the back about it just yet. I personally think they should, because it's a lot of fun. Jordan Grace coming in, opening the door for everybody else. Kazarian, as I said before, Joe Hendry. I really popped for the reunion of the Rascals. The ladies that are going the other way to TNA to challenge Jordan Grace, the No Quarter Catch crew, having their issue with the Rascals on TNA so that they can have a different issue for the Rascals in NXT with Gallus. It's a lot of fun. Do I think this is going to branch out and affect the WWE main roster? Probably not, but they like NXT and TNA are a good balance for each other. The only problem with it right now is TNA pre-tapes their shows, so they can't do much surprise stuff. So to the people out there that are saying, oh, the big names show up on NXT and then they send smaller names back to TNA, well, they're not going to send Trick Williams down for a taping of TNA because it would be spoiled like a week out. That's something they need to figure out. That's something they need to get around. If TNA gets to a point where they can do live Thursday night shows, that'll probably be great for them. People will be tuning in because they won't have the spoilers available to them. But as I say, Slammiversary, apparently their highest selling show, or their highest selling tickets for show in like 10 years. Awesome. Ever since they rebranded back to TNA, yes, they did lose Scott D'Amore, and yeah, the feelings are still mixed about that. Not going to brush that under the rug, but they've been killing it. This partnership that they have with NXT is killing it. NXT is going to do Halloween Havoc, which is awesome. WWE is sending their people everywhere, pretty much. We re-signed Natalya, and like I say, she joined the ranks of like your Finn Balor's, your Seth Rollins, your Drew McIntyre's, your Chad Gables, etc. Hopefully Becky Lynch follows suit as well. Kind of neat news about the trademarking stuff, that you can trademark your, WWE will trademark your name while you're in WWE, but once you leave WWE, you can take your name with you. That's probably a bigger thing than I'm even making it right now, but There's like I said, there's an odd hodgepodge of news. Probably not going to do a WWE this week, or a State of Wrestling this week, because most of what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this week is going to be centered around Slammiversary. And when we see a crowd that big for a TNA show, it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to get on here and try to get a prediction out Thursday night, Friday morning. May or may not have Jake DeMarco, our buddy Jake DeMarco, with us. I might try to rope him into a review as well. We'll see how that goes. But either way, you will get something from me. Either way, you will get a solo preview from me and a solo review from me, or if I can rope in Jake for one or both, that'll just make it 10 times better. Will it not? If it's just me, you might get to see my face some more. You might get to see me playing with weird effects that I don't really know how to do. So if you're liking this, if you're liking the camera stuff, if you like seeing my pretty sexy face, once again, where's the gimmick hat? The gimmick hat is up on the shelf. I'm not moving right now. But yeah, let me know what you think about all this, all the WWE folks going everywhere else, and all the new people coming to WWE, all these pay-per-view announcements, and all that fun stuff. Who do you hope WWE successfully re-signs or newly signs soon? Put it down in the box below. That'll be a conversation point. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye.